Hey boaters, Keith McGowan here, the Outboard Dad, here to help you have a better boating experience. Got my buddy John back with me again, annoying the heck out of him today, but he enjoys that.
Of course.
So we're going to look at a used boat that was listed for free. It's a Hydrosports. I'm going to talk a little bit more about those Hydrosports because I used to own one years ago, but it's sitting behind this house over here and we're going to check it out. Come and see what it looks like. Please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have. And don't forget my used outboard motor guide is on sale on Amazon now. So let's check out this boat. So here's our boat. My guess it's a mid-80s boat by Hydrosports, 24-foot boat. And here's the reason I'm looking at this boat. If you take a look closely here, these boats in the 80s were made with Kevlar. So we're going to check this transom out. I'm already seeing that the transom has gotten squished here. So we're going to do some tests and check this out. It has a 225 Johnson. This looks like a mid-80s motor. We got some trim tabs. And yes, this is a mess. So we're going to check the floorboards and we're going to see what this looks like. Okay, let's check out this transom. I'm standing on my, without slipping off on the snow and hurting myself severely. We're going to bounce on this and we see that transom flex, so we have a soft transom. Now we know why this boat is sitting. Now we're going to get in a little deeper and check the floorboards.
All right, go for it.
Okay, John said go for it. So we're taking the cover off, see what it looks like under here. All right, so it definitely looks old. It's definitely, see if we can see the connector. So we have a red plug over here. John, you want to get this in the video? So red plug means it's pre-96 because 1996 is a black plug. So we know this is a earlier 80s motor. Let's see if the flywheel turns. It does. So we are not locked up. I did not bring a battery today or anything to check for compression because, again, it is a free boat. It is VRO. And we do have hydraulic steering, so we're going to go up and turn the steering wheel. I can look inside here and see that my trim motor is not all roached out or rotted out, so that looks in decent shape. So let's hop in the boat and we'll take a look in there. Okay, so this has been sitting for a long time. It snowed today up here in New Jersey, so we really can't tell too much of the details. We may have to come back another day, but we do have a cabin. And I do like the saying here. What's it say? Our captain is always right. Misinformed perhaps, sloppy, crude, bullheaded, fickle, even stupid, but never wrong. Sounds like somebody I know, John.
Yeah, certainly does.
So our shifter's locked up, but our steering works. That hydraulic steering works. Now again, this has been sitting for many, many years here. So we're gonna have to come back, clean some leaves out of this because we can't really tell how soft the floors are. We did a little evaluation. We can't really see too much of the upper fiberglass because everything is covered in snow. We did shovel. Let me show you inside what we looked at. So we did shovel up a bunch of the leaves and everything. This has been here for probably almost 10 years. Took a couple of the hatches up to see what it looks like inside. And the floor is soft as well. I do like the railing, stainless steel railing that's around here, but this is going to be a major project. This is going to have to be gutted. Motor might be salvageable. We really don't know. But that's the decision now, is how far do we want to go? Do we want to have a full-blown project and look at this? So looks like a free boat, right? Now we know why he's offering it for free. We do have some things we noticed that were pretty cool. It does have a newer, when I say newer, again, it's probably pushing 10 years because the side of the boat, the registration says 2015. It's 2024, so it's at least 9 years that this has been sitting. So someone's done some work to it over the years, but how much we can get away with it's good is unknown, and that's why it's free. So the decision now is, do I want a project like this to gut the floorboards, transom? Done it before. Do I want to do that again on another boat? I do like the styling of the boat, and I like that it's Kevlar. We're going to come back when the snow melts off of this. Probably will melt off since we're in Jersey here. We get snow and then it rains and melts off and goes back and forth. And then we'll see what this looks like. So check this out. Let me know your thoughts on this boat. Wow, that was fun. I love checking out project boats. It's a good time, plus a good time with a friend of mine to hang out, freeze yourself a little bit, then go ahead and warm up. We went after that and got a little bite to eat. Now we're back. I have a bunch of notes here that I took, some stuff I put on my computer to check a few things like the HIN. So let's look at the top 7 things that I looked at. Just a quick overview. I didn't go crazy. It's a free boat. I have to see if it's worth my time to invest in rebuilding it. And that's what you want to know when you're looking at a boat, whether it's cheap or free. What is the extent of it? So just some quick checks for a project boat. Took a few notes here. The hull material and type, we know it's Kevlar infused into that fiberglass, so that's really good to have that. It lasts longer. Want to make sure there wasn't any damage on the outside. It's snow covered, so we're gonna have to go back after it rains and maybe clear some of that off. Maybe even give it a quick shovel out more of those leaves and get a little deeper look at the fiberglass itself. The transom visual we did, plus we got on it. We know this needs a new transom. If it was solid, that's a whole nother ball game. It's going to be a whole lot less work to rebuild. Remember, this is a project boat, so you are going to have to put some time into it. The motor itself, it wasn't locked up. Doesn't mean it's going to run. But again, it gives us some clues as to what we can do. We looked at the trim motor. It wasn't all roached out and rusted out, so that's good as well. A couple of the things we looked at is the age. We know this is an 80s boat based on the motor information. While we didn't look up any serial numbers, we could certainly do that. And it may not be the original motor that's on there. Someone could have changed it. But we did get the hull identification number, and we'll look at that as well. A little conflicting online information, but I know it's an 80s boat because I also know the Hydrosports boats as well, because I've owned them and I've kind of tracked them over the years. Next, number 5, what we checked into was the steering, right? It has hydraulic steering on it. Now, I did notice some oil around the edges. Does that mean it's leaking, or is it just sat for so many years that they're seeping? We're probably going to need new seals in that hydraulic steering to make sure that works properly. And the controls are locked up, so I'm going to need new cables, right? So we're going to be replacing a lot of parts to get this running. Number 6, soft floors. So if we have soft floors and we have a bad transom, we know we're pretty much going to have to gut the back half of this boat in order to rebuild it. And I've done that before. I'll show you a couple pictures of that I have here of a boat that I gutted years ago and rebuilt. So I know what's involved. Then number 7, kind of last but not least, and there's certainly more checks that can be done, but just something brief to go through to say, hey, do I want to jump off this bridge or not, is the trailer. Trailers can be expensive if you have to buy a new one, and it can also be expensive if you have to rebuild one. I didn't take the wheels off to check bearings, but it did have a newer tie-down surge brake on there. Again, newer, maybe 9-10 years old, but I don't know if it functions or not. I went and tried to push the trailer back and forth. It did not move at all, so those brakes, there's 4 disc brakes on there that are definitely locked up. At very minimum, they're going to have to be replaced, maybe even removed before I can even move the boat to get it home. All the rollers on the trailer would have to be replaced, absolutely. So I looked at my hull identification number. It's HSX, which is the manufacturer, which is Hydrosports. Another name that popped up on the computer was Horizon Yachts. Maybe they owned Hydrosports back then. 4D2 is the next set of numbers that was on there. But the last one's there that get to the year. Now the year says that it's a 1982. And the motor looks like it's a pre-80s. So I know it's in that range there. Now you can pay someone to do a hull identification and come up with exact, or go to DMV and you can get more exact. But at least we know the range that it's in. So is it worth it to do this? You let me know your opinion. Well, last but not least, I contacted the owner of this boat and found out he's not the owner of this boat. You always want to do things legally, follow all the rules. I called a friend of mine before I went to look at this boat who happens to be a notary public. Said just go to somebody locally, local bank there, and they can take care of that for you. Owner wasn't there when we looked at it. Said go ahead and check it out, which is fine. I wasn't confident I was going to be able to leave with the boat anyway. It's got brakes on the trailers. If they're locked up, it's not going anywhere anyway. I would have to jack it up, have to do some work just to get it out of there. But by the same token, you have to ask some specific questions when you're looking at buying things like this. Do you have a title? Now, he told me he didn't have a title, and he didn't have a trailer, but that it was his boat. Come to find out, this gentleman had bought this property, and the boat was on the property, and it belongs to the previous property owner. So I said, great, no problem. Get me in touch with the original owner of the boat, and we will talk it out, and I'll get whatever signed documentation from him. And he got back to me. Now, this is all in text, right? I only got him on the phone once or twice. And he said, okay, well, go ahead and take the boat home, and then I'll work on getting in touch with thee. And I said, I'm sorry, I'm not taking property that doesn't belong to me, that could possibly be stolen or something. I didn't say all that. I just said, until I can legally take this, I'm not going to be taking this boat. I'm not even sure I really want to yet, but if I cannot get any documentation, now, I know I can title the boat. I just need a signed bill of sale, but it has to be signed from someone who's the owner. What if the guy sold the boat or or didn't sell the boat, he sold the property, but the boat was included in it or something, or maybe it wasn't? I don't want to be stuck in that situation where I've got now some piece of junk on the side of my yard that I find out I can't do anything with. Number one. Number two, what if it is stolen or something like that? So you want to be careful of those things. The Outboard Dad is always looking out for what's legal and correct to be done, so you don't have any hassles down the road. You would hate to put thousands of dollars into a boat like that, get it out on the water, or not be able to get it out on the water because you can't get it registered. Is it worth it to do this? You let me know your opinion. Don't forget, I have my used outboard motor buying guide now for sale on Amazon. Yes, it's finally on Amazon for sale. If you buy one and you send me proof of purchase at keith@outboarddad.com, this is an updated version, a newer version with more detail. Gets into everything you need to know to check out an outboard motor and how to do the testing that you need, the tools that you need, so that you can have a better purchase than just buying blind and not just firing up and going, okay, sounds good, and putting it on your boat and finding out that it has a problem. So if you send me an email at keith@outboarddad.com with proof of purchase, I will give you a free session, 1/2 hour on the phone, $250 value, to help you with a motor or a boat that you're looking to buy. So please like, subscribe, send me any comments that you have, and we'll look to see you in my next video, because we're going to look to do a podcast coming up with some of the guys sending me information. They have some great history and some experiences that they have that I want them to share with the rest of this group. Have a great day.